Today we continue with the rest of the mini crawler tables at Canyon Hobbies. If you haven't seen last week's video, we crawled table 1 there and it was an excellent table. Today we'll do tables 2, 3, and 4 and finish up at Canyon Hobbies. If you haven't seen last week's video, go check it out. This is the second table, made of mostly blocks and stone. I find it very technical. It's difficult to drive, so some of you guys might like this kind of crawling. Not really my gig, but a lot of people I know really like this kind of setup. I had mentioned last week that my crawler is set up all wrong. I have too long of shocks in the front. It was one of my first builds. Anyway, you can see right here it kind of wants to get me in a bind. I can work my way out of it with the rear steer, but it was a challenge. So I'll be swapping some shocks here on this rig soon. Here's the Ascent 18 going through the same area that the SCX24 just went through. On this table, I just didn't find a lot of lines that appealed to me. Again, not my kind of crawling, but definitely if you want a challenge, this is a table to do it on. Also, if you want to put some fresh scratches on your rig, take it right here like I did. I was able to work it through, but really had to drag that body hard against the rocks to get through it. I'm sure a better driver could probably balance it here on the V-notch, but me, not so much. This is the third table. They told me this table was donated by someone, possibly a home build that somebody got tired of and donated. I found this to be interesting. It wasn't near as big, but it was kind of fun to drive on. It has just a couple challenging lines. I did not try that log bridge there because I didn't see any way my tires would go over them big gaps. In fact, I ended up falling in it with the Ascent 18. If I had been thinking ahead here, I would have started the rear wheels turning sooner, and I would have been able to clear that fence easier without backing up. But as it was, I bumped into that fence and had to seesaw a little bit. No big deal. Again, I am filming with one hand and driving with the other. And with the rear steer on a thumb potentiometer, trying to make that all work, it's a little bit confusing. Sometimes I even turn the front wheel the wrong way just from switching back and forth between the rear steer and forward. It's a little odd, definitely different than just driving front wheel steer. You'll see here that the rear steer is going to help me out. The rear end is in danger of falling off right by that bridge, but I'm able to turn the right wheels and crab it a little and just steer right around it. Worked out great. If you have a 4-wheel steer rig, be sure to bring it with you if you come here. You'll be glad you did. The Ascent 18 does not have rear steer, so it's definitely more of a challenge, a little more seesawing back and forth to get around. I decided to back up, take a different line than I did with the SCX24. So I avoided the fence there, but I ran into another problem that I almost nosed over, but I made it past. You'll see here my success didn't last all that long as I ended up dropping off into the abyss into that log bridge. I did find this other little line I didn't notice when I was driving the SCX24. The angle on it's just right to challenge the rig, but a little wheel speed makes it no challenge at all. And finally, we're on the fourth table here, the one I consider a novice table. This is the one I mentioned in the prior video that they take to events so they can introduce new people to the hobby. I think it's rightly designed for the novice to give them a little sense of adventure and enjoyment in the hobby without it being too frustrating for them when they start. I think this course looks great. It's actually the best looking table in my opinion. Got bridges on there, a couple of them. There's lots of greenery, and the design makes you get a sense of adventure. Very enjoyable to drive. As I said, it's for the novice, but there are still lots of interesting things for others with more experience. As I mentioned, be sure to check out my last week video where I did the first table, and spent quite a bit of time on that one because it was just the most fun, interesting, challenging, and it looked great just like this table. And now off to the side, I saw this ramp here. I guess it's for testing your angle. Might be for a larger scale, so you do a teeter-totter on it. Not sure. Anyway, the little Ascent 18 did not tip the scales. If you'd like to see some crawling at Chimney Rock and Mini Moab, and also a very special visit to a very special place, go ahead and subscribe. Those videos will be upcoming soon. Happy crawling!